All right, welcome back to WMAC Now with your host Chuck Stevenson, coming at you with a Bellator fight announcement. So Bellator 302 is going down March 22nd in Belfast, Northern Ireland, and they have booked a rematch at Featherweight between Leah, the Curse McCourt, and Sinead Kavanagh. Now, seems to be a lot of people not happy with this matchup. I know, including McCourt, who put on Instagram yesterday, not the fight we wanted, but the fight we have. A lot of people seem to be upset that she's not getting the title shot against Chris Cyborg, which Bellator flubbed that one. Bellator flubbed that back at, UFC 300. They had them both in the cage and faced off. And it's like, what? This is like right before they announced the sale. And that's just typical Bellator, because it's like, oh, you have no thought for the future whatsoever, because you're basically announcing a fight or without a set date or anything, and no plans for the future because you're about to be sold. So yeah, that's Bellator screwing up. But the new PFLator, because Bellator is owned by PFL now, said, yeah, we're not going to do the title fight yet. At least not yet. We're going to do this rematch, which I don't blame them. I mean, people are going to say, oh, but McCourt's number one contender. It's like, she's been alternating wins and losses her last few fights. Is that really a number one contender? So they're doing this rematch. They first fought back in February of 2022. I believe that was in Ireland as well. And Kavanagh won via unanimous decision. So now they're going to run it back. So let's get into it. Let's look at the stats here. So McCourt comes in at 8-3. Kavanagh comes in at 9-6. McCourt's coming in off of a win over, what's her name? Sarah McMahon, back at Bellator 300 in October. Kavanagh's coming in off of a loss via split decision to Sarah Collins back in September at Bellator 299. Before that, she had two straight wins over McCourt and Janae Harding. Whereas McCourt, right before the win over McMahon, McCourt lost a bout to Kat Zingano. Let's see. McCourt has youth on her side. She's the younger fighter at 31. Kavanagh is 38. She is the taller fighter as well at 5'10", 178 centimeters to 5'7", 170 centimeters. However, Kavanagh has closed the reach up. The reach gap. McCourt still has a slight advantage at 69 inches, 175 centimeters to Kavanagh's 68 inches, 173 centimeters. But that is a big closing of the gap there. So, I understand PFLator's reasoning behind this rematch. I mean, think about it. They're trying to make McCourt the number one contender. Which, and by the way, I have nothing against Leah McCourt. I like her. I follow all of her fights. I'm not a particularly big fan of Kavanagh. Here's the thing. You lost to her once. You couldn't beat her when she had a clearly injured leg. Like, you failed to take advantage of a one-legged fighter and get a win there. And you let her get away with it. Why are we going to give you a title fight right now when you're alternating wins and losses, and two of the fighters that you lost to have already lost to Cyborg? And that's funny because I saw someone commenting on McCourt's Instagram post, or maybe it was Twitter, I can't remember. But they're like, I can't believe they're making you face someone that Cyborg already beat. It's like, well, she lost to said fighter that Cyborg already beat. And she already lost. She's lost to 2 fighters that Cyborg has beaten. So, it's hard to justify giving her. It's honestly, it's harder to justify giving McCourt a title shot at this point. I mean, you have 1 win over Sarah McMahon, which, hey, that was a good win. McMahon totally flubbed it, faced the tiniest bit of adversity and did what Sarah McMahon does. She just basically freezes and lost. So that was a nice win. But before that, you were coming off a loss to Kat Zingano. Kat went in there and offered nothing to Cyborg. Before that, you had a win over Diana Silva, who was 10-7 at the time, and was never going to amount to much. I mean, Jesus. Looking at Silva's record, she hasn't put together 2 wins since 2015. And then right before that was the loss to Kavanagh. So yeah, I can't blame PF Bellator for not wanting to do that fight. And I don't know why anyone would want to see McCourt get beat down in front of her hometown crowd anyway, because everyone knows what's going to happen. She goes in there against Cyborg, she's getting demolished. Whereas she actually has a chance against Kavanagh. And here she has a chance to avenge a loss in front of her hometown and say, yeah, I definitely should have won that first fight. I didn't, so now I'm going to make up for it. Anyway, those are my initial thoughts on this bout. Let me know yours. Like and subscribe. And thanks for watching Wmma Now, the best women's mixed martial arts dedicated platform on YouTube. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.